Tamara, we wanted to bring you in to talk a little bit about how tariffs are really going to complicate the completion of some of these big construction plans, whether it's Gateway, whether it's anything else, because there's going to be a lot of extra costs that are difficult to account for. And I'm wondering whether projects that are already underway are safer than those that are in planning stages. How do you think about this?
Thanks so much for having us today. I think that when we think of the municipal sector and how we're constantly reassessing how different parts of it are going to be impacted by economic and policy changes. And often it's very different for each sector. However, there are some shifts that are so large that we see an impact across the entire market. And tariffs impacting construction expenses is something that we think is going to be seen everywhere. And we're really learning from our COVID experiences with that.
So say a little bit more about that. What specifically happened during COVID that allows you to kind of model out what could happen this time around?
Sure. So during COVID, we saw a breakdown of the global supply chain, and we saw projects being delayed, increased expenses, longer periods of time until they could be profitable on their own. So the beauty of the municipal market is that there's so much resiliency in the borrowers. So we're able to keep that low default rate regardless. But we did see some strain across some sectors and some borrowers as they had to borrow more money than they anticipated initially to finish those projects over a longer time period.
So when those borrowers need to go out and borrow more money to finish those projects that they had started or that they're it's too late to back down from, where do they go? Do they go back to the muni bond market? Do they go to banks? Do they go to private credit? What are their options at this point?
Well, the nimbleness of the muni borrowers is that they have so many options there. Often we did see what we call completion bonds when there's a second borrowing to get those, get the last parts of the project completed. Private banks sometimes are another option, and often they have enough liquidity that they can just draw down from their own funds in order to get the project done as quickly as possible.
So when we talk about policy changes that are happening, it's not just tariffs. That's one part of it. There's also the immigration changes that the president and the White House have announced. And I'm thinking for a lot of companies, a lot of sectors, not only do they have to contend with higher construction costs for material, but also higher labor costs to complete the projects as well. How do you think about the balance of those two?
I think munis are being hit from a bunch of different directions right now, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And for sure there are, while munis are thought of as a domestic sector, they do draw a lot from whether it's building supplies, employees, or customers from the international world. And so there is going to be impacts to select sectors.
Such as?
Healthcare has been hiring nurses from other countries to help fill up the nursing shortage. And often many international students come for higher education.